Hello developers, welcome back to the channel. It's been very long since we last met and I would like to apologize for the long wait, but this is the last video and we'll be finalizing our project in this video. I'll be teaching you everything that you need to complete this project and add it to your resumes and be a star of all the interviews that you face after this. In the last video, we were done up till here, and in this video, we'll be adding the widgets right under these. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. So inside the player screen, under the audio player, we'll be adding the widgets. And what widgets will be having is an artist ID. Alright, artist ID, and we'll send me the current track and the artist, but we'll send the album, the whole album. Alright. Okay, this is something. The current asset, the album. So it will send an error that widgets is not there. So we'll go to the components, create a new folder, call it widgets. Inside the widgets, let's create a file index.js and another file called widgets.css. Again, same old story, RFC to get the widgets, save it, import the CSS file. Let's get in the artist ID here. We'll go back to the player and quickly import this. Alright, we have widgets right here. So let's go ahead and make the widget screen. You can close this one, open this to the side, straight right. Alright. Okay. So the first thing is we'll create all the themes, all the states that we are going to use. So first of all, we'll have a list of similar artists. So we'll go similar, set similar is equal to use state, and it will be an empty array at the beginning. All right. Let's quickly import use state. The next will be the featured artist. Featured comma set featured is equal to use state and empty array, and the last one will be the new releases. New release comma set new release is equal to use state. Alright, this is done, and at the end we'll be taking a constant ID out of the album component, and it will be artist ID dot artist. This first artist. If it's a list of artists, we'll just take the first artist and his ID. Alright. Now let's call all the APIs that we are going to use and populate the data inside all these states. Alright. So we'll be creating a use effect. This will have an empty array because we just want it to be called once. We'll quickly import use effect. Alright, inside the use effect, we'll be using the API client that we created. So the API client dot get. I would like to import the API client also. API client from Spotify. Alright. So inside the get, we'll be using the thing called artist slash, we'll add the ID because we want the similar artist to this ID. Our artist, the current artist, and related. You can check it out, all the APIs on the console that I showed. So we'll take the response.
and we'll make it. We just want, I mean, for this page, we just want the top 3 artists to be displayed. So we'll just splice the array and splice the response, and you just set it to the third top 3. All right. So what we'll do is we'll call it constant a is equal to res dot data. And data is present dot artist dot slice. All right. We'll slice the artist array from 0 to the third element. We just need the third 3 elements, and then we'll set similar with a. All right, this is done. Now we'll call all the other APIs also. So we'll copy this because it's going to be the same. Okay, after this we can quickly make the catch statement also. Catch error, and if there's an error, just log the console.error. You can use console.error also. Okay, there's an error. I don't think, what is this error? Declaration of statement expected. All right, this will be come here. This will also come here. This is also here. This is dependency ID. All right, you can write the ID here. If ID changes, you can change the whole all the arrays. All right. We'll quickly copy this and call it 3 times again with different API links, so that so the next one will be browse slash, so we can get all the featured playlists. All right, this will get us all the featured playlists, and this will be called data of playlists dot items, all the tracks. All right, we'll slice it again, and we'll set the set featured here. Set featured. All right, the R has to leave. Okay, the one last time we'll do it again, and this time we'll use browse slash new release. This will get us all the new releases, and we'll have here data slash albums slash dot albums. All right, and we'll set it with set new release. All right, so this is it. Then now let's go ahead and make this. We'll call the div, give it a class name called widget body. And inside the body, we will have 3 widget cards. Widget card, which will have a title, yes, title, similar artist, and an array that we're going to send. So we'll set similar here. Similar, we copy it 3 times, paste it again, and paste it again. This one will be called made for you. All the featured artists in your library, and this will send the featured here. And the third one will be called new releases. That will take in the new release array. All right. Now let's quickly go ahead and create the widget card component. So we have widget card.js and a CSS file for that. Widget card.css. Same old story again. Widget card RFC. Capitalize the first letter. Import the CSS. And we're done. Alright, so widget card is not defined. We'll go back to the index file. and we'll quickly import this. We have 3 widget cards. So let's go ahead and add the CSS to the body. We'll call widgets body. So widget body, right? Its width will be 95%, and its height, that was for the previous, the one on the top was 40%. This will be 50%, a 10% gap in between these two. Let's add a margin to this, 2% margin on top and bottom, auto on the sides, and at the bottom we'll add a 3% margin. All right. Let's add a background color to this. So the background will be RGB 30, 42, 62. All right. We'll be adding a linear gradient to this. I'll quickly add it. But first of all, let's just quickly create the outer body. All right. So this is what it looks like, and it's perfect. It's at the right distance from the top. It's at the right distance from both the sides also. All right. Now the next thing that we'll do is we'll add a border radius to this. Border radius of 30 pixels. We'll add a display flex to this. Display of flex. Justify content space evenly. Space evenly. And align items to the center. Alright, this looks good. Now let's quickly add the gradient to this. Alright, so I've copied the gradient. This will be the linear gradient that we're going to add to this. So you can see it's transparent on the top and it's darker on the bottom. So to make it look like a card, as you can see, it's almost transparent and we cannot see it's a card. We'll add a background blur to this. Alright, so to add a background blur, what we'll do is go here and we'll write widget backdrop filter and we'll make it blur to 12.5 pixels. Alright. Okay, there's an error here. What will be the error? Okay, yeah, the error is that widget requires a backdrop filter property also. So we'll add a backdrop filter, and we'll add blur again, and it will be 12.5 pixels again. Yeah, now you can see it's the background is blurred, and we can easily see that this is a card. All right, now let's go ahead and make that widget card. Our widget card will be similar to the card that we used in the library. All right, so the card that we are using in the library, we'll use a similar card, and it will also have a fade effect and an icon at the bottom. So you can easily reuse the CSS that we are using inside this, and you can copy paste it and make the component easily. All right, so let's go ahead and start with that. All right, so inside the widget card, firstly, let's give this a class name called widget body. Card body class name is equal to card body. Let's call it widget card because there are many cards. Widget card body. Inside this, initially we'll have a p tag which will give us the class. Which will give us the category. It will be called widget title. It will hold the title that we are saying. So we're getting the title here. Okay, the title. Next thing what we'll do is we'll make a parenthesis and map over the things that we are getting. So firstly, if the thing that we are getting is similar, Alright, we'll restructure everything here. Similar, featured, and the new release. Alright. Now, based on what we are receiving as a prop, we'll be rendering what entries we want to be adding. All right. So if it's similar, we will do similar dot map over it. Then this will be giving us an artist. So we'll write artist, artist, and from the artist we'll have our. So we'll be calling it widget entry. Yeah, each entry will be passed into this widget entry. So what it will take is a title, and title here will give us the artist's name, artist.name. The next thing will be the subtitle. The subtitle will give us the follower of the artist. So it will be artist.followers.total. The total number of followers, alright. And at last we'll be sending in an image. So it will be artist.images. The second image, because it's a small image we need. And basically Spotify gives a set of three images for each image. One is a very large image, the second is a very small, the fairly smaller, and the third one is the smallest. All right, so this is the third index would be the smallest. The next thing will be after similar, we can check for featured. If we are getting a featured list, then we'll do featured.map, but here we are getting all the albums playlist. All right, playlist, and what will return is another widget entry. We can copy all these things quickly. This will be screen saving. Paste them. The artist will become playlist.name, playlist.name, and here we'll send, instead of the followers, we'll send the number of tracks. So it will be playlist tracks but total, and the image will be in place of artist, it will be playlist. Alright, it's a bit of same already. So at the end, after featured, if it's not even featured, then we'll check if it's new release. And if it's new release, we'll say new release. And this will become album. And we'll search for, we'll again return a widget entry. Inside the widget entry, we'll add other things that we need. Alright. So the title will be album.name, album.name. Subtitle will be album.artist, and the first name of the artist. If it's present, then only the name of the artist will be displayed. Alright. And the images will again be the same. The album, we'll check if the images are present. In each one we'll check out. It can cause an error, that's why we should always add this condition first. Alright, and if it's not even this one, then we'll simply return a null. Save it. Now let's quickly go to our widgets, create a new file called widget entry.js. Oh my god, what I've done is jazz. Right. So in the widget, we'll get widget entry dot CSS. Right. The widget entry again we'll do RFC, capitalize the first letters, save it, import the CSS, import widget entry dot CSS. Alright. The three prompts that it's getting is the title, comma, subtitle, comma, image. Widget entry is not defined. We'll go to widget card, quickly import it. Let's see what is happening. Alright, there's an error. No, there is a lot of errors. Okay, there's no reading total. Alright, that is it follows. Tracks the total. Name, another button. That checks everywhere and similar. Inside the widget card, we're getting an error for total. There's no total present. That's the total. With URL. Will be the error. If we have playlist and playlist of tracks and total inside that. Everything has a total, but what is the error that we're getting? What is the followers? The total. Okay, we can quickly check it out by logging each one of these. Alright. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and log not here inside the previous screen. So till then, let's quickly just comment all of these. Alright. So inside the widget screen only, we'll go ahead and log all of these. Now this will on the screen we had index.js and this type of this. Let's log similar, comma, featured, comma, new release. So let's go and check our console. Okay, so we can see that one of the API is not being called. So the one that is failing is this one, the new release. Alright, it should be new releases and not just new release. And now let's see. Okay, we are getting 3 players in one row. Alright, that means we are getting all the players. So inside the first one, if we go, we have the 0th element, and the 0th element has the name and the followers, and followers has a total object. Okay, so this should be working. All right. In the second array, we have the name of the playlist, and it should be having a tracks, and the tracks has a total property. All right, so this should also be working. And the last one has albums, and inside that we have the artists, and artist 0th element has a name inside it. Name of the artist. Alright, so this should also be working if everything is fine. Alright, let's go back to our widget card page and uncomment all this. Save it again, and now let's go to our console and see what is happening. So it says the key, the reading URL. It has a problem reading the URL. Alright, let's go. Let's save this and check. Alright, it says that undefined. In place of the ID, we are getting an undefined. Alright. I think I get it. So what we'll do is we'll go back to our the main screen of the widgets. Alright, we go to the index, and in place of this thing, we'll pass it directly from the main page. Alright. So if we go back to our player, and in place of this Karim.album.id, we can send in the artist ID itself. Alright. Now we can go back to our widget screen, and we can simply remove this and use the artist ID itself. Alright. ID has been changed. It's not being used anywhere else. Save and refresh. ID is not defined. ID is not 937. Where is the? Okay, sorry, my bad. This will be artist ID. It's still getting an error that it is not being defined. Alright. Before all of this and all of no, this can be sent in like that only. If console.log the artist ID. Alright, it's coming as undefined. Alright. It's a simple catch. We can simply put a check before all this. So we can write if artist ID is present, then simply call all these, else just don't do anything. Add it to the thing. Alright. Let's refresh. Again, we are getting an error, undefined reading URL. It's calling the URL again. Okay, so if this works fine, then only we'll go back to the widget entry, widget card, and in the widget card also we can check for the URL. But every URL, there's a check. Alright, now this is all working. Widget entry, widget. We are getting 3 widget entries. That means it's going to that place. Alright, so now let's go ahead and create the widget entry. So the first thing we'll do is we'll give it the class, and this is a class name of entry body. Inside this, first we have all the props here. We'll add the image. The source will be image. The alt will be the title, and the class name that will be entry image. Alright. Now after this, we'll create a div. It will be called entry right body. Close this. Inside this, we'll simply add 2 p tags. The class name will be entry title, and it will be holding the title, and the next one will be a p tag plus the entry subtitle, and it will be holding the subtitle. Alright, now let's try this. This was inside the widget entry. Alright, inside the widget entry, write entry body. The body will be having a width 100%. It will be a flex container. Align items to the center, and a margin top 10% for each. Right. Then the entry image. That image will be having a height of 50 pixels, a width of 50 pixels, border radius of 15 pixels, and a margin right of 10 pixels. Save this. The next thing will be the entry right body. The entry right body will also be a flex here. The right body will be a flex. It will be having a flex direction of column and will be justifying the content to the center. Now let's see what it looks like. Okay, this is what it is looking like. Now let's quickly go ahead and size the subtitle and title. So the first will be entry title. So the entry title, the font weight will be 700. The font size will be 12 pixels. The color will be our favorite color, the C9 D0 E3. And then the margin. So the margins will be 0 pixels on the top, 0 pixels on the right, and 5 pixels at the bottom. Alright, this is fine. Now let's size the subtitle. Entry subtitle. It will be having a font weight of 400. The font size again 12 pixels. Alright, the title should be so it will be 16 pixels. This will be 12 pixels, and the color this time will be C4 D0 E37 C, right? And the margins will be all 0. Alright, so this is what it is looking like. The first one is looking perfectly fine. These have a little bit of problem. Let's quickly check it out what is happening here. Maybe there's a spelling mistake or something. So I'll go to widget card. There's playlist. Playlist has tracks and the total. Alright, so in place of this, what you can do is you can quickly write the text called followers. This will be songs. And the last one will be just the name of the artist. Alright. This is getting undefined followers, undefined followers. This is getting these many followers. Right. Alright, we are getting the album name and everything, but the only thing is that we are getting followers in each one of these. So this is something that will not be happening. So if you go to the console, we are getting arrays. So inside the first array, we are getting the followers. That's alright. In the second array, we are getting. So what we have to target is this and the name, and then again inside that only we have images. Okay, we don't have the second image. Alright. So for the second one, we will have to use the first image only. We have to save this and check. Refresh. Still not getting it. We can see that this is not being able to understand whether it's a made for you playlist or new release playlist. So let's go ahead and check where we are passing all these parameters. So if we go back to the index file, yeah, okay. So here is the problem. We are sending similar in all the 3 cards. So we send new release. Now let's save it. Yeah, now you can see we're getting the images, we're getting the 80 songs, the artist name, everything is fine. So now let's go ahead and we'll style these cards now. We'll go to the widget cards and we'll open the widget card file here. So the first class will be widget card body. So the widget in the widget card body, we will give it a width of 24%, height of 74%. Okay, so now our card has a width and a height. The next thing what we'll do is we'll give it a border radius of 30 pixel, same as all other cards and components in the website. Give it a background of RGB 30, 42, 62. Let's save this. Yeah, you can see it has a background now. The next thing, we'll add a linear gradient to this, so similar to the cards that we are using in the library screen. So it will be background linear gradient. So the linear gradient, how it works is, first of all, we'll give the degree of angle, the angle at which it will be having a linear gradient. The next thing, as you can see in the suggestion, we have an RGB color. It will be 40, 58, 88. The next thing will be the opacity. So it will go from 0%, and the next color, the finishing color, will be 54, 69, 98. It will be an RGBA color, and we'll be giving it a opacity of 0, but finally it should be 100. Right? Let's save this. So after setting this, you can see we are getting gradient from at an angle of 75 degree, and it's 0 to 100%. Alright. So the next thing we'll add is a padding to this. So we add a padding. It will be 1% vertically and 3% horizontally. And they ask, we'll make the cursor to a pointer. Right. So this is how it looks. Now what we'll do is we'll add a scale option on hover. So we'll go ahead and target the widget card body, add a hover effect, and at the hover we'll transform it just like we do it in most of the places. Transform it and scale it to a factor of 1.05. You can see. Now to make this scaling smoother, we'll add a transition effect. So we'll make transition all 0.2 seconds, ease in, out, to make both the easing in and easing out smooth. Alright, you can see it's going in and out smoothly. Alright, now the next thing we'll do is we'll target the widget title. Widget title, it will be a font weight of a font size of 18 pixels, a font weight 800, and a color. The color would be /C4 D0 E3. Alright, this looks good. Now at the end, what we'll do is we'll add a fade effect, just like we have in the library screen. If you hover over any playlist, you get this icon and a fade effect from the bottom. So we'll be adding a similar effect to the player screen also. Alright, so let's go ahead, and after this, well, we'll make another class full div. Sorry, my bad. We'll make a div with the class name called fade. We call it widget fade so that it doesn't clash with the other files. Inside this, we'll make another div which with a class name of fade button. And inside this, we'll be adding an icon. So we'll import icon context.provider. We'll give it a size of 24 pixels. The color would be similar to this one. You can simply just copy it. Paste it here. Now inside the icon context provider, we'll add the icon, which will be my chevron. Right. Now we'll quickly import both of these. Import icon context from React icons and import my chevron right from React icons /fi. Save this. Yeah, we've got the icon. Now let's quickly style this. So we'll go here. We'll target fade, widget fade. Give it a position absolute, 0 from the right, 0 from the bottom, width similar to the width of 84%. That is subtracting the padding. Height of 34%. We don't want it to be too covering the whole card. Next thing would be a border radius, same as all the other cards, 30 pixel. Then a background. Add a background similar gradient to this also. So it will be linear gradient at an angle of 180 degree, comma, RGBA 54, 54, 69, 98, 0, 10%, 10%, comma, RGBA 54, 69, 54, 69, 98, comma 1. And this will be 100%. Let's save this. Now after this, we'll initially the opacity would be 0%, 0, and once we fade over this, once we hover over this, then we'll be adding the opacity to 1. Alright, so this will be hover. Inside the hover, we'll just do opacity is equal to 1. So you can see, once you hover, you're getting the opacity. Alright. First of all, let's make the transition. Make the transition smoother. We'll add transition to 0.5 seconds. Ease and out. Animation. None. Display would be flex. And just to align the item, that icon inside this, we're doing this. Display would be none. Align items to the flex end. Let's end. Justify content flex end. And a padding of 8% on all sides. You can see it's coming all over the place. As you can see, there's a bit of flickering all over the card. So what we have done wrong is we haven't added the position of relative to the widget card. All right. Now once you've done it, it only comes inside the widget card. Now, okay. So if we hover over the top part, we're not getting the fade effect. It's only coming when we hover over the fade effect. So what we'll do is, instead of targeting the widget fade hover, what we'll do is we'll do widget card bodies hover and target the fade class. Right. So now it's not coming. Okay, widget card body hover getting the okay. It's not fade. It's widget fade. All right. Now you can see wherever you hover, it's still getting the fade effect. All right. So this is done from my side. What you can do is once you click on these sites, you can go target these all to the different screens that we have. And making all the other screens is not a big deal. So you can use the similar cards like these and target different APIs. You can simply go to the console part of the Spotify Developers API, and you can use any API that you wish. You can use the favorites, whatever you want to use, and you can simply put all cards like this. And once you click on these, you can simply go back to the player card. All right. Just these two screens are enough to add it to your resume. You can from the scratch, you can explain every detail of the project, how it's done, why it's done, and what all you learned from each of every concept. And this is a full-fledged program. And if you want to make it a complete one and host it on Firebase or anything, you can simply add cards like these on all screen. All right. So this was it for this series, guys. You can add all types of features, all types of variations, your own creativity, everything into this project. You have any doubt regarding anything that you're trying to do and it's not happening, you can post it on the Discord server. You can contact me directly inside the Discord. You can add it in the comments of the video. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I hope you have a very good project inside your resumes now. You can add all these screens, and once it's done, this is a very good project to be added, and it has all types of variations and all types of UI knowledge that you can gain from this. And if at the end, I would like to thank you all for watching and for staying waiting for this video for so long.